All right, folks, what's going on? What's happening? Before we go back at again, what's good? Post game show preseason season. Yes, it's a late night. I promise you, and I always say I promise you, and I'm always breaking my promises. But I promise you, I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Welcome to another show with your boy, and let's get right in. Let's get right into it. You guys think I'm going to sit here and really analyze this game? It is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, folks. It's more so just kind of touch on some things that we observed today, and I want to get right into it and jump into special teams. I know it's crazy, right? Tyler Bass is back. Tyler Bass is back, but is he? That's a real question, right? Because although he went 2 for 3 today and in field goals, and my mic off. Let me fix my mic. Let me fix my mic. Let me fix my mic real quick. You guys are not liking it. You guys are like when that smooth, sultry voice comes on and really gives you the good stuff. So, boom, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Can you hear the deep voice in your mic? And if you are able to hear me, give me the thumbs up. Z-Bot, jump on there. I thought you would have been to a bed and asleep, and you want to do this? Get your ass in here, man. I just finished doing Bleacher Report, so I was hot. So I was like, yo, let me jump on there. So get your ass in here. Get your ass in here. All right, folks, let's get into it. Let me wait for my man Z-Bot. Z-Bot, get in here, actually. Get your ass in here. I said half an hour. All right? So do not make me do more than half an hour. I'm not trying to do that. Don't give me the I don't know nonsense. Get in here. Get your ass in here. Half hour. In and out. We're not doing 2 hours. I got time for that. I got church in the morning. Mic no good still? Hold on. I didn't even get a chance to do it. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Oh, you know what? Because I did the All right, you guys, can you guys hear me? Is the audio coming through? Music, no voice. Can you guys hear me? Are you guys hearing me now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yes? Are we finally? Holy jumpins. What's happening? Yo, listen, don't you start with that unk nonsense. Don't you start with that. All right. I'm going to try to keep my energy up. Let me try to keep my energy up. I want to talk about this game. I want to see what's happening. My man Zebo's coming through the game. Listen, he's going to be like, dude, really? Let me see it. I want to see it. When he comes on, we're going to let him have it. He's going to let me have it for a bit. Let me have it. Come on in.
Dude, really?
There it is.
What the hell?
Really?
What the hell? Trying to sneak in a solo sesh?
Listen,
like
I didn't think you'd be ready to do this.
Poetically about Shane Buckley for a half an hour, trying to leave me out of getting in on that. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Let's respect the time.
Come on,
I ain't trying to go for 2 hours tonight.
Me either. I'm beat, and I gotta finish that Cowboys doc because that thing's got me hooked. That thing is
you got me hooked. I haven't even seen a thing.
That thing is too good.
Love it. All right, let's get right into it. Let's get to special teams. Tyler Bass. Was it good to see Tyler Bass back?
Yeah, it was great to see him back. I didn't love seeing every single ball seem to have a magnet towards the right upright. It looked like every one of those kicks missed by an inch, even though they were mostly all made except for the 25-yarder. And for whatever reason, Bass has always seemed to be he's always seemed to struggle more within 35 than he has on the outside of 35, which is odd. I don't know why. But yeah, it was good to see him back. I know he hasn't had many reps this offseason, so it's fine if it's a bit less than what you'd expect in terms of accuracy. But we had this same conversation last year, Rico, this exact same time, and it wound up not being a problem. So I'm going to give Tyler Bass the benefit of the doubt. They did go in. They all count the same. But, yeah, I mean, they all were veering towards that upright. But, you were feeling good about it because I texted you. I said, get that leg warmed up, and you said we're good. So
listen, I felt good about it. The only thing is I shared the same sentiments there. Everything was right there. There was one kick. I was like, "Oh, did he go? Did that miss?"
I know.
Both officials were like, hands up. I was like, okay, I'll take it. But it's the fact that we're having him back and the fact that they were confident enough to say, all right, Davies, it's been real. Thank you for your time. We're good. We got our kicker back. Now, we have to wait until week 1, week 2, week 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's get the one that really counts, where the pressure's not the pressure's going to be a lot higher than it has been for preseason. This is when we're going to find out. So he's not out of the woods just yet for me. But it was good to see number 2 out there whooping some tail and kicking the football out and getting warmed up. That pelvic must be loosened up a little bit, so he must be feeling good. Let's go to the offense side of the ball, because I wouldn't call it a controversy per se, but it is a conversation to be had. Receiver position number 6. And I go down to number 6 because I do feel receiver 5 is locked in with our guy, Tyrell Shavers. Tyrell Shavers has been developing on this team for the last 3 years. He's now prepared. He's seasoned, and he's really showed out this whole offseason. It started off doom and gloom a little bit when he came up with a high ankle sprain and he had to be carted off. We're like, whoa, that sucks. This guy's worked his tail off, and now this is what happens. And he comes back and says, no. Don't count me out. Tyrell Shavers, is he locked in? Do we take the Sharpie and say, yeah, you're in, kid? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I've had my eye on Shavers. I mean, obviously he's had a good offseason here, a good camp, but I thought he looked really good against the Giants. That's when I really said, man, there's something to this. He had a good camp last year, a good camp this year, shows out in that game. Then I thought he was the best offensive player in the field last week in an abysmal outing against the Bears. And then today, he's got arguably the catch of the entire preseason across the entire NFL. The guy has earned a spot on this 53. Not only has he played well, but you watch him, he's got the body size, he's got the movement, he's got the hands. I think he's got the makings of a legitimate weapon for Josh Allen to utilize. When you're looking at the outside looking in bubble type wide receiver guys, you go to the what's the impact on special teams going to be, right? But when I look at him, I think wide receiver first before I think what else is he bringing me? How else can I utilize him to get the most out of a 53-man roster spot? When I look at him and watch him, he feels like a legitimate wide receiver that you can maybe get something out of in special teams in order to really maximize the value there. Every opportunity he's been given up until this point, Rico, in the preseason, he's capitalized on. That needs to count for something. And when we're looking at this wide receiver room, which up until right now, other than Khalil Shakir, we're still, we expect to have Keon Coleman based on what we've seen, not only in the offseason here, but the flashes we saw last year. We're expecting that ascension, right? We're expecting more out of Dalton Kincaid this year. High hopes for Josh Palmer based on what we've seen. But you really don't know yet what an established second guy to Khalil Shakir looks like. Post Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. We don't know exactly what that looks like just yet. And with Allen throwing the ball to Shavers, what's it going to look like if it's looked as good as it has in 3 preseason games with everybody but Allen throwing him the ball? I like what I've seen. And the biggest thing to me, I mean, this catch, by the way, is just phenomenal. I mean, that's something that you're seeing in a bag of other areas throughout the postseason here, or excuse me, the preseason here, that I've seen just flashes of. You go back to the the back shoulder catch he had from Mike White. I believe it was last game. You go back to the deep ball he caught in the Giants game. So he's shown you a little bit of everything, a great catch, back shoulder, deep route. What I love about him is I feel like you are getting a full package receiver. When you're talking about these guys that are on the cusp, usually you're like, well, he's got the speed, right? Maybe we'll use him in a speed role, or he's got the size and we'll use him, go up and get it, and then we'll get the special teams side of things out of the way. When I look at him, it's full receiver to me, and then let the special team stuff figure itself out. I'm excited about Shavers.
And it's nice, and I like what you're saying. What you're telling us, he's got a package. He's got the full package, right? He's not your gadget guy on we're just gonna put him in for receiver screens and call it a day. Oh no, he's just a deep guy. No. He's gonna do it all. And that's what you want out of your receiver. A receiver that you can put inside, outside, you can get him doing a screen. I mean, we saw him take a screen, 50 yards last year? Right down the middle, boom.
Against the Jets, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we've seen that part of his game. We've seen him in the red zone. What you want is a receiver that can do it all and that can help, most importantly, Joshua freaking Allen. So let's keep it pushing. We're going to keep it on that because you said a lot of things that I think a lot of us are saying that Shavers, if he doesn't make this team, it would be heartbreaking if he did make this team. It'd just be odd. People would be questioning Brandon Beane and what he's got going. Now, let's keep it pushing here. Receiver 6, to me, is absolutely open. Folks are saying that's Elijah Moore's position. I'm thinking Hamler might come in and squeeze in and take receiver 6. Now, most people might say, well, hold on. Why would you think Hamler would come in? I look at it as impact. Have you impacted this team? A, in the locker room, you know what I'm saying? B, with your teammates and so on and so forth. And have you impacted anything on the field? We've seen impact from Hamler, not only this game, but last game as well. We've seen impact. You know what I've seen from Elijah Moore? Drops. I've seen silence. I've seen him get nothing. So to me, to just put him on the roster just because we gave him $2.5 million guaranteed. Nah, we can't lose the money like that. Yes, the heck we can. Right. So to me, what good is it putting him on there when he did nothing all offseason? But Hamler has been working his tail off. Now, I'm not saying Hamler's a lock and that's who it should be. I'm just saying Hamler over Moore can definitely be something to talk about. What are your thoughts on this Hamler / Elijah Moore / maybe even Shenault? Because Shenault looked pretty good returning the football today. That receiver 6 spot, to me, is wide open. It is not locked in. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's a crazy take at all. I like KJ Hamler. It doesn't hurt either that he has been the star of Hard Knocks, by the way. Every season has one, and he has been that guy. And I think people are finding out how likable of a guy he is. That's why I loved the idea of the Bills being on this show. We already know this team very well, but you don't even know what you don't know, right? And you're watching this show. I don't think anybody really realized that Hamler is a really likable, or I mean, obviously you might have known he was a likable guy. All these Bills are, but I don't think you really knew the kind of the nuances of his personality, where he's really a great guy to be around, seems to be an uplifter within the team, which has to count for something. We know that means something to Sean McDermott. We know how much being a pillar of the culture means to him. KJ Hamler seems to embody that, but the quickness from him is what stands out the most. He gets the ball and you get him in open space, the burners get turned on. Let's talk Elijah Moore, though, because all offseason, right, it's been when you brought Josh Palmer up, you brought Elijah Moore up in succession. You didn't separate the two. It was Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore every time you talked about the wide receiver room. The expectations for both those guys were equal. They were both high and they were both equal. Joshua Palmer has clearly separated. That is a guaranteed top 3 spot right there between him, Coleman, and Shakir. That's Josh Palmer's spot.
No question.
You're looking at Moore, though, and you're right. Unfortunately, it's been a very quiet offseason, both in practice and preseason. A bunch of drops we've seen. And what I've noticed, too, a ton of forced screen passes to him that have not worked. They haven't worked. Another one again tonight was a 5-yard loss on a screen. Here's my issue, though, with wanting to just move on from that based on what we've seen this offseason, right?
Talk to me.
25 years old, incredible speed, 25 years old, has never played with an even mediocre quarterback, really. And when you factor in who he's played with throughout his career, mediocre would be considered elite in terms of what he's played with. He has been surrounded by nothing but poor quarterback play. I believe last year he led the league in terms of target to incompletion ratio. And I don't think that had to do with him more than it had to do with the ball being all over the place. I think there's potential there. And we haven't seen him and Allen in a game setting. So I can't rule out that he could be an impact. I just can't rule that out. And clearly they saw something in him. And I think this is the best opportunity he's had to be something. I mean, we've seen it before. And I know it's beating a dead horse, but it's the truth. You know, Cole Beasley, best year of his career with Allen. John Brown, best year of his career. We've seen examples of guys come in and immediately re-spark whatever they had within them because of the rejuvenation brought about from Josh Allen's prolific quarterback play. There's no other way to put it. I'm not ready to rule him out, but unfortunately, you have to make decisions, tough decisions, and you're already going to keep 6, it feels like. It feels like the general consensus right now is 6. And to me, Shavers is one of those spots. You're talking about Curtis Samuel. What's the play there? Didn't even travel this week, and I know that Sean McDermott wanted to see what he had tonight. I know he wanted to see him out there. Sick, didn't travel. I know it's probably not up to him, and it's unfortunate he was sick, but the fact remains here, we haven't seen Curtis Samuel really in any capacity this offseason. Now, he came on last year. He had that great touchdown against the Broncos. There were moments towards the end of last year where you're like, oh, this is why they signed him. But that 6th spot, Rico, no question about it, up for debate. I don't think it's crazy at all to consider KJ Hamler being in that spot, especially when you do factor in special teams and you factor in that this year, special teams might be more important than they've ever been with the ball starting at the 35-yard line now. Nobody's going to kick the ball out of the end zone against the Bills. I know they brought it up on the broadcast tonight. Well, you know, we had 80% of kicks return in the preseason, but only whatever it was, 20% in the regular season. Here's the difference. If you give Josh Allen the ball at the 35, he is 120-yard out route. He's 120-yard slant to Khalil Shakir from getting Tyler Bass in field goal range. You cannot give Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow. You can't give those teams the ball at the 35. So I guarantee you that the teams that have a top 10 quarterback are going to have more returns this year than maybe ever. So the special teams to me more important than maybe ever, and that could be a factor in this. But my problem with Elijah Moore, Rico, is I just don't want to rule it out yet, even though it's been a poor preseason and offseason here, because I think that there's potential there. But where are you leaning? Are you ready to kind of cut ties there? You've seen enough?
I haven't seen enough for me to say, you know what? I like what I saw. There was like, typically you would say someone sparked, right? And we didn't even get to the defensive side of the ball yet, but I could say Deion Walker, spark, impact, right? We're not even get there. We will get there, but we haven't. I have not seen anything from Elijah Moore that said you sparked. However, I'm gonna go ahead and make another hot take, right? If Elijah Moore's not on the squad, KJ Hamler's not on the squad, and you just lamented on the kick return, You put in Chanot back there, and I think we're great. You put Laviska Shenault back there at receiver 6 only for the reason that you're keeping him for obviously kick return duties, and he can do punt return duties as well. Codrington on the other end, I like Codrington. We traded for the guy, but when I saw him on the defense side of the football and we're down at corner, he is a liability. Don't even put him at corner. He is strictly there to kick return. So now it comes down to who's the better return man and who's dangerous. Well, we do know Chenault's done it and can still do it. And we brought him in for that reason. And I saw them starting to feed him the football a little bit more in preseason. So maybe they're trying to figure out what can we do with that receiver 6 spot. That's why I think it is the receiver 6 spot is Hamler, Moore, Shenault. And now it's going to come down to who does what role. If you really think about it, Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, and KJ Hamler kind of the same. They're kind of the same. You can't have the 3 cats make that squad. I just can't see them all 3 making the squad. Samuel's going to stay there because you cut him, you're 12 mil, that's dead cap. I don't know if they're trying to, I know they're used to cutting guys and eating that dead. It's all good. But this one, I don't think they're going to. I think they keep him. Moore, not enough impact. Hamler has done some things, but then does he do kick return? No, he doesn't do kick return. Did you see him at any point?
And I don't get quite why, by the way.
Me neither. He's got the speed.
That's why I brought up special teams, because I feel like they should give him a crack at it. No?
They didn't do it. I think they wanted to specifically see Codrington and Shenault. That was the battle. So the real decision is going to be made is who's going to be impacting us more in the return game. And on top of that, if I have to put you in the game, who's going to hurt me more? Codrington is going to hurt us more if we have to put him at corner. So if I have to move on from one of these cats, I'm moving on from Codrington and keeping Shenault, which then Shenault gets the 6th spot. If the team doesn't feel great about our guy, Mr. Elijah Moore. Now, money is a factor here. So do they keep him because, hey, man, we guarantee you $2.5 million. We didn't give you enough time with Josh, et cetera, et cetera. Name the reason you want to name. I just didn't see enough impact. So I'm looking forward to seeing this 53-man roster and how they go about it. I think August 27th is when they have to go down to
Tuesday.
53. So yeah, we're going to find out what's really good in this situation here. So receiver 6 is going to be tough, man, but I think we're both on the same page. Shavers, my guy has done it. I think he's earned it, absolutely. And I would love to see him get into the role of what Mac Hollins was for us last year. I know some folks were saying, you know what, if Gabe Davis comes back, it's going to be him taking the Mac Hollins position. No, man, I think Shavers is going to be the guy that does that, right? When we needed a spark, we needed a little something because he was able to do a lot for this squad. Whatever they needed him to do, he did. And I'm referring to Mac Hollins. Shavers is going to have the same attitude, I presume. So I think you'll see a lot of that. And I think you'll see a lot of him jumping in and doing some good things, man. And listen, you saw that catch today. That ain't just some regular Joe doing something. Yo, this is a guy that's hungry. He wants part of this. And he's not just content to make the 53. I want more than just making the 53. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this receiver room looks like. And we're not far off. We need to give Josh Allen everything that he needs to be successful. And Shavers being on the team is a good thing. It's a great thing. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Last thing. Do you think there was anything really going on with this Gabe Davis thing? Was that just for show? Was that like to light a fire under the butts of the receivers in the room? Or is that legitimate? You think they're going to try to bring in Gabe Davis to really come in and work out for the squad?
I was a bit confused on the timing of it. We had this conversation months ago. I thought they would have brought him in for a look months ago. And clearly nobody has gotten to a point where they've signed him yet. He's still available, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, by the way. I mean, we were on the right cusp of debating whether or not the Bills should pay him. They didn't. The Jaguars bag him up, and now we're back here a year later, and no one has him on the roster. It's insane.
Yep.
I didn't understand the timing of it, though, because it felt like we were talking about keeping 6 as is within house, much less adding somebody from the outside. You can't not take a look at it. It's a guy that you drafted, and it's a guy that did have success with this team and made some big plays for this team, and you'd get him on a veteran minimum. So you have to take a look, which is why I was shocked they hadn't done it sooner. But I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out, and it's something I wouldn't be upset about if they brought him back. I just don't know if I see it happening. I just don't know where the room is. I don't know. I think at this point I would be a bit shocked if they did bring him back. Not shocked that they would want to consider it, but shocked based on the fact that up until this point, you've been talking about keeping 6, and that's including that's strictly talking about the guys you already have on the team. So I don't know if the room is there. I don't know. I don't think it was done as a ploy to try and light a fire. I think Bean was doing his due diligence. I was just more curious as to why the due diligence wasn't done earlier in the season before camp, you know?
100%. I'm with you on that one. And I stand by it. So we'll see how that all shakes out. I think they're going to, like you said, I think they're going to stay in-house with what they have, and they'll go from there. I know Bean is always looking. He always tells us, I'm always looking. I'm always listening to phone calls, so on and so forth. So when these cuts start happening, because it's all going to happen at once, boom. Actually, we're going to start seeing it. Black Monday is upon us, right? It might even start tomorrow, for crying out loud. So you're going to start seeing guys get let go here and there. So this will be fascinating to see. Let's stick on the offensive side of the ball. Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr. has had a good camp. He's had a good, solid camp. There's only so long that the Bills can stash that brother on the practice squad, because somebody is going to make him a player on their squad. He's done well. And the fact that he's got great lineage, the fact that his dad is going to be there, coaching him along the way, et cetera, dude, he's not making the roster. He's got to go back to the practice squad. Is there a scenario that you see the Bills retaining him and nobody takes him, or is he as good as gone?
I think he's gone, and good for him. He deserves to be gone. He is a victim of circumstance right now. Unfortunately, the Bills have one of the best running back rooms in the league. Yep. You could argue. I mean, they have one of the best third down backs. You feel good about running back 2 with Davis for sure. And then you just extend James Cook to become the 7th highest paid running back or 6th highest paid running back in the NFL. And you know what you have with him. Frank Gore, though, he looks good. I mean, you're damn right he does. He hits the hole extremely well. He's got the burst. He's got the elusiveness. He seems to have a high IQ once he gets that handoff. He's got the patience at the line of scrimmage and is able to find the crevices. I like him a lot. And hey, we were having this conversation last year. I think he had the most rushing yards in a single preseason game ever last year until he was just recently beat. Somebody just beat him this preseason, by the way. I forget who it was. But I mean, he was a stud. And he deserves to be vying for meaningful snaps for a team. Unfortunately, it's not going to be with the Buffalo Bills. You can't dedicate a spot to him right now. You already have your 3 running backs. Therefore, he's going to be he's going to be sent to waivers. And I'd be shocked this time around if he were to not be claimed. I mean, last year he wasn't, and I think we all felt good about that. We were excited to have him on the practice squad. This time around, though, 2 great camps in a row, 2 good showings in 2 preseasons. I don't know, Rico. I think somebody's got to give him a chance, and if they do, I'm rooting for him, because that's a not only a great dude with an incredible football history with his father, but also a guy that I think could definitely have an impact on a team for sure.
Could definitely have an impact. Now he goes to the practice squad. Now he does have a choice on whether he'd like to stay with this team. Somebody might pluck him and say, "Hey, come on our practice squad," but you'd have a better opportunity to get onto the 53. He might just say, I like what I have in Buffalo. I don't think I need to leave. I'm going to stay. I just can't see it. He's too young. He's too solid enough. And somebody's going to give him an opportunity to make a squad. And it might even be a 53. You just never know these days. But I'm with you, man. I think he's damn good. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out at the end of the day for our guy, Mr. Frank Gore Jr. How about your boy? Real quick, your boy Bouchel. How'd you like Bouchel today, buddy? Bouchel was slinging that thing.
What was not to like? I mean, he was on fire today. That was awesome. And for somebody like him, his fate is already predetermined, and everyone knows it, including him. I thought it was great. McDermott says, go out there, play a full 60 minutes, right? Because it's still like, for guys like that, that's got to be awesome. It's got to be awesome. Like, you're still out there playing an NFL football game. You like, I think Tasker said it on the broadcast. When you sign to be a quarterback on the Buffalo Bills, you know what you're signing up for. You are not signing up for any legitimate role here. You know exactly what you're getting into. And for him to go out there tonight for a full game and play the way he did, it was awesome. And that was a fun game to watch. I mean, we had a couple of duds here. Last week, I questioned every single element of my entire life, having sat through that whole game. Tonight, I didn't question it once. It was fun to watch, Rico, and he had a lot to do with it. It was a great game for me. That was awesome.
That was great. All right, let's get to the unless you have anything else on the offensive side of the ball, I think I'm pretty good. We're going to the defense.
No, I'm good. The last thing I'll say is I think Shavers was going to make this team regardless tonight. Like you mentioned, I think it put it in Sharpie. It cemented it, and I'm very excited for him to get an opportunity. The guy's worked his ass off. He has earned it, and I'm excited to see what 17 does with him.
I couldn't agree more. Shavers is going to be, and I'm more so excited. Not only that he's going to make this squad, and I think that's going to be a great story, and it's going to be great for Hard Knocks. But I think he's going to do good things. I don't think he's just happy to just make the team. I think he's going out there to really make an impact. I know that it's going to be the depth is low on the depth, but I think he's done good enough things that they're going to trust him to be on the field more. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right, defensive side of the ball. Did you see things? Did you see things that stood out to you? And I'm going to start off with the defensive line. And I've got to say this, and I think we share the same sentiments here.
Good God.
Dion freaking Walker. Dion freaking Walker.
Look at this guy.
Look at him move. Push, stack, rip. I'm in there.
And that wasn't even the top 3 play he made tonight either.
Dude, look at him. Let me stack you. Let me rip you, and let me get in the backfield. This is a huge human being able to push, stack, and rip and get in there, and he's nimble. Ed Oliver wasn't lying when he said it. He said, hey, man, this guy's a big boy, ballerina feet, and can move. We absolutely got a steal. Brandon Beane got a steal in Dion Walker falling that late into the draft. This guy, this very guy that we're looking at, was slated to be a first-round draft pick had he entered the draft last year. Back injuries derailed that. But ladies and gentlemen, he is now on the Buffalo Bills, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And having him next to TJ Sanders, that's going to develop together alongside Ed Oliver, alongside Greg Rousseau, I'm absolutely thrilled to see what this team is going to look like with this guy, Mr. Dion Walker, on the field. You'll love to see it. What are your thoughts when we talk about Dion and what he was able to show in this game, this preseason game that really showed out?
Look out. Look out for 96 in the red, white, and blue. This dude is a stud. I found myself watching him more than I was watching wherever the ball was going. He was dominating the line of scrimmage like he was playing for the junior Warriors when I was back in 5th grade trying to make weight for the B team up in Rochester, New York. He was throwing around pro football players on the line of scrimmage like they were legitimately 5 years old. And that was just one example. He was doing that all game long. The ability to combine the size, which and you can just tell, you look out on the broadcast, he's dwarfing over everyone in width and length. The guy is bigger than any other guy on the line, both on his side of things and the Bucs side of things. And to combine that size with that speed this replay you have on the screen right here, Rico, is slowed down. This is slow motion here.
Absolutely.
Watch how fast. By the time the ball gets handed off, he's there. He's there. That's a guy who weighs 320 pounds. He's on the running back before he can even get the ball handed off. The ability to combine the size with the speed, and on top of that, the sheer strength to just ragdoll another pro offensive lineman in front of you. And it wasn't just one rep. It was nearly every single snap on the quarterback, on the running back. This guy could be something special for the Buffalo Bills when it comes to their front line. And he's just one of the pieces, right? You're waiting to see what else they have, and you combine him with Ed Oliver. What's that going to look like when he's not out there with a second and third string unit? What's it going to look like when he's got other top tier defensive linemen surrounding him where he isn't going to be able to be the primary focus of an offensive line, which allows him to get even more opportunities? This guy is crazy talented. And the attributes, I don't think you could make him in a lab. When you talk about the size, the speed, the agility, and then the strength. I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. He's getting off the ball, right? He's going the wrong way. The lineman's got him where he wants him until he doesn't. Look at him. He gets him completely turned around all the way back to where he's got to get and makes that sack. This is somebody I think who stood out throughout the preseason here just based on what the potential could be when you factor in all the things he brings to the table, but he has also shown it on numerous occasions. Tonight was his night. He stood out more than any other player on the Buffalo Bills, and my excitement level for him is just absolutely through the roof. This guy might be everything Brandon Beane's been waiting for in terms of talking about the defensive line.
Did you see his stat line tonight? His stat line today, he had 4 total tackles. He had half a sack with a tackle for a loss. Oh, by the way, he had a QB hit. You got to love what you saw. And most folks might say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's calm down a little bit. This is preseason. He's going up against guys that are, second string, third string, and may not even make the team. Problem is, you have guys that are supposed to be doing those things and aren't, right? And I hate to do it, but Dwayne Carter should be doing these very things against the guys that are lesser than he is. And we're not seeing that. And we're seeing it from our guy, Deion Walker. So these are the things that you want to see from your young players that spark this early, that show an impact, that you know that if you're in a pinch and you need to make a play happen, now just reverse the roles. Picture that being Mr. Burrow, right? Flush Burrow out there and feed him to freaking Greg Rousseau, or feed him to Joey Bosa, right? Pat Mahomes loves to do his little Twinkie toes. Guess what? Mr. Deion Walker's right here waiting for you. I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. We got ourselves a good one in Deion Walker. So love to see it. And I'm excited.
You just said something though that I was actually thinking during the broadcast, because I figured one of the ways you could maybe discredit, or you could illegitimize an effort in which we saw from Deion Walker tonight would be, well, it's against the third string. And my counter to that would be, yeah, this is a guy who got in the NFL 3 months ago. All of the guys he's playing with are guys trying to fight for a spot just as he is. We're not talking about Myles Garrett being out there doing this, or TJ Watt, a pre-established beast up on the D line. We're talking about a guy that just got drafted that's trying to earn a spot just like the rest of them. So everybody he's going against as of right now is on his level, and that's what he's doing to those guys. Will he be able to do that against the cream of the crop in the NFL in terms of going against top tier offensive line? Maybe not to the extent in which he did tonight. But the goal of the preseason is to see guys be able to elevate their play beyond those who they are playing with. That's the whole point of it. When you go out there in a game like this, who's going to show themselves as somebody that is beyond the talent level of a second and third string unit? That's what you saw tonight. It looked as though he was a veteran starter playing against backups, when in reality, he could be determined as a backup right now based on his status in the league, having just joined it. You are surrounded and playing against everyone who's considered to be at your level at this moment. When you visibly rise above that, that's what you're looking for if you're Beane, McDermott, anybody who watches preseason. This is what you're looking for. So to try and say, well, yeah, this is who he's doing it against, but that's the whole point. You're not sending guys out there who have been doing this in the league for 5 years. He's supposed to go and do that now to show you, hey, I'm doing this against these guys. I'm going to show you that I have the potential to do this against the best in the league.
And you nailed it. I'm not even going to add to that, because that's exactly what it comes down to. It. You need to see what your players are about. When I put them in, show me what you got. Let me know that I was right when I drafted you. And right now, is looking very good for Brandon Beane on drafting Mr. Deion Walker. Great on that. All right, let's get into the defense. We're going to get into a little bit more, and it stems back to looking at the Bears and how that game was just an eye-opener. And it was a huge lesson for everyone, because you could see there was a level of detail that was brought into today's game against the Buccaneers, albeit being the third preseason game where a whole lot of guys aren't playing. But the point is, you need to make a statement. Last week was an absolute statement. We sucked. That was a statement that they made. And they changed things up today. Cole Bishop absolutely bounced back with his performance. I mean, over pursuing, getting beat off the line quickly, missing tackles, you name it, he was part of it. And it wasn't good. And sometimes we can sit here and tear down a player, and sometimes you can just chalk it up to, this wasn't a good game. And let's chalk it up. Last week was a terrible week. So how does a guy like Cole Bishop bounce back? He absolutely bounced back. And thanks to my guy, obviously, to our guy, Mr. Carl Jones. Carl Jones had some footage and some clips from Cole Bishop. And if you pay attention to what Cole Bishop is, I'm going to pause it right here. There's Cole right there. If you guys can see my mouse, watch how he identifies, reads, reacts, fills it in, boom, right in there. You love to see. This is what you want from your safety. This is why we drafted a guy like Cole Bishop, right? Big safety, pretty fast. And on top of that, we need you to get in the box and do these very things. You love to see it, identified it, read what he saw, and attacked it. That's what you want to see from your safety. I'm not done here. When you go up and you see Cole Bishop here, all right. So at this play here, you see him react, and he sees the play and attacks. Right off the rip, you're going to see him make a tackle right off the rip. Boom, right there. Not giving any time, not wasting time, and wrapping up and getting rid of it. You're not missing a tackle. He saw what was happening, reading the quarterback's eyes, and attacked right there. Although the pass was off, I like my safety to be right there and not 3 to 4 yards off and now waiting for something to happen. Nah, I'm right on your ass. And that's what you want to see from Cole Bishop. You needed a bounce back, and he gave you the bounce back. And that's what I needed to see from my safety, especially if you're going to be the one next to Taylor Rapp starting. Last week, I have to admit, I was questioning the whole room. I still am. But it was nice to see Cole Bishop bounce back and show that, okay, maybe we're not so bad at the safety room. Coach hasn't gone out and made a trade. Coach hasn't gone out and signed someone. He's confident in what he has in the safety room with Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp. Clearly, that's what they want going forward. I think they might be forcing it a little bit, but sometimes you got to force things to happen. In this day and age, the more you wait and you're not sure and so on and so forth, somebody else is going to take your spot. So you've got to get it and get it now. And it seems as though he's learned his lesson and he's on it. And the more he's on the field, the more he gets down and dirty, the better that tandem is going to be with him and Taylor Rapp. So big shout out to Cole Bishop. Great bounce back. You'd love to see it. Your thoughts on Cole Bishop?
You just nailed it. And that's the thing that is tough with Cole Bishop right now. There's been next to no reps. I mean, you just have such a small sample size for a guy drafted in the second round, expected to take over for the best safety tandem that was in the league for a considerable amount of time. I mean, this is the future of the secondary. And when you consider Taylor Rapp being alongside of him, they're hoping that this can become the succession to Poyer and Hyde. And they've been willing it to reality, or at least trying to, right? I've never really seen a team try and prop up a guy to getting into starting status like they seem to have been doing with Bishop. And I think it's because they know how necessary it is. They've been waiting for this. Unfortunately, he's been hurt, right? He's been hurt, hasn't had the reps, but they seem awfully high on him. And we've seen moments in camp where, you know, you hear them talking about him and they just seem to be so high on him. And McDermott was clearly frustrated with the inability to get him out on the field because of his lack of availability, right? Yep. Seemingly calling him out, not even all that long ago, not necessarily in a bad way, but more so in a way in which the entire secondary was being called out. The expectations are high. McDermott has talked about this, where he has said that Bishop is well aware of the expectations that are being placed on him. He knows that the pressure is on, but it's felt as though he's going to be able to take that in stride. Kevin Masari mentioned something to me. I was doing the Buffalo Bills roundtable last week, and he made a point that I thought was, one that I hadn't considered, and I thought it was a really valid one. Okay. When we're talking about the two preseason games prior to this, the Bills played the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. What are two things that those teams both have in common? Absolutely ripped to shreds by the media and have everything to prove. Brian Daboll could potentially have his seat on the line. They have no idea what they're doing at quarterback, and that's a team that maybe had its worst season ever in its centennial year last year, where they was just egregiously bad. They've been bad for the longest time now, but last year was gruesomely bad offensively. Yes. So they go out there against the Bills with the media knowingly tuning in to the Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston experience, and they put out the best possible film that they can do in the preseason in order to kind of temper the animosity being sent their way that has been sent their way for a while, right? Then you go into the Chicago game. All we've been hearing throughout the preseason. Caleb Williams struggling once again. He can't hit the broad side of a barn. He's doing these drills where he's throwing the ball into the net and he can't even throw it into the net. He's just not working out. Ben Johnson's he's shutting down practice. He's freaking out over what he's seeing on offense. So they go out in a nationally televised game, Rico, right? 5 million viewers on Fox for that utter shit show the other night on Fox. And Ben Johnson, he's like, I'm going into a year where we're going to have a microscope on us, unlike this team has ever had, with Caleb Williams, me being the new coach, all this talent added to the team. We got to show them that we got something coming into the season worth watching and get people thinking we're going to be competing. So what do? They go out there and they basically game plan to do exactly what they did. The difference today, the Tampa Bay Bucks are a lock for the playoffs, in my opinion. I don't see them losing that division unless Michael Penix completely ascends into just an undoubted starting quarterback this year, which he could. Right. He definitely could. But to me, I think that when you have a guy going into his first full year as a starter and then compare that to what the Bucs have been, where they have been consistently good for a while now. I love Baker Mayfield, maybe the most underrated quarterback in the league. They're a division winner to me. So that's a team that doesn't have much to prove, Rico, in a preseason game. Right. So they go out there on an even level with Buffalo. And I think that's where you might have saw them struggle in the secondary way worse the first two games than they did this game, because they were going against teams that had a lot more to prove than a Bucs team going into the season. That opens up the ability to have the playing field even out, and I think this is why you saw them succeed more. But back to Cole Bishop, yeah, like it was bad last week. Maybe it was because the odds were stacked against them and they were playing extremely vanilla defense, and the offense they were going against was filled with not only starters, but after that, just a team that was looking to try and build up some positive goodwill with their fan base. To come in again today and have the he had that spark. The difference between this week and last week, that's it, Rico. The difference between this week and last week, they felt like they walked out there last week with nothing in the tank. They just didn't seem to show up at any level, whether you were trying to make a team or not. Tonight was different. Cole Bishop, a great example, and those plays you showed were a good way to represent that.
No, it was bad, and I think today, you know what? It's confidence. When you and I saw it last week when we were just it didn't matter what we did, it was not good, and you can see shoulders slump, not giving 100%. You had Dane Jackson trailing and just la-di-dying all the way through, and it just wasn't great. And you saw fans and players calling it out the same. So you saw a focused, laser focused, and determined team today. And once you saw good things start rolling, tape started looking great. And it starts with one player, and then it just permeates amongst the team. So that's what you want to see. Great to see. Now, we've talked about the defensive line. We've talked about the safety room. The biggest concern, I mean, I thought the safety room was a concern. The cornerback room, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but the cornerback room, if you really dissect and look at what we have in that room, it's not great. And let me remind you, you've got Christian Benford, which is on the cusp of being one of the best corners in this game, on the road to becoming a Pro Bowler / All-Pro. If he continues to do what he's been doing, he's well on his way. But he also has a history of injuries. Now, call the forearm an issue. I mean, that's out of. I mean, what can you do? You broke your forearm. It is what it is. The concussion. I mean, so it's not like he's never been on the injury report. So he could be another concussion away where he serves time. Then you have your rookie corner in Maxwell Harrison with an LCL injury. He's been nursing his way back. He's chomping at the bit to get back to it, but he's not ready yet. Then here comes the white hype, the great white hype, the veteran rookie, veteran corner, in Trey White. He is out with a lower leg injury, and coach is not even saying what it is. Is it a high ankle sprain? Is it not? Is it more serious than we think? Not a peep. You're going to trot out Dane Jackson alongside Christian Benford to go up against the Baltimore Ravens in week 1? Are you kidding me? If you think that's sufficient enough and that's suffice enough, I have another thing coming to you guys. It's not good enough. What in the heck is going on with that corner room? And why haven't we been calling guys? Right? And I get it. You want to give guys that opportunity to really get in there. We have Hancock. We have Dorian Strong. I get all those things. But coach is clearly saying they ain't ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. You have Asante Samuel sitting out there that hasn't been touched, hasn't been called. We're not doing anything about it. And it's not like he hasn't done anything in this league. We still haven't. So what are we doing? Are we okay with Christian Benford and Dane Jackson? Did you see Dane Jackson today? It wasn't good.
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt too.
And here's another issue. Dane hurt. Hairston hurt. Trey hurt.
And that right there is the center of the issue. It's not that the cornerback room is necessarily an issue. You were feeling good about it a month ago. Maxwell Hairston, Trey White looking better than ever in camp. You love what you have with Christian Benford. That's the issue. And it's been the issue with this team for the last several seasons, right? Caroline's still up, by the way. I thought we were going to bed, sweetheart. She's in the Bahamas partying it up.
She wants to watch the show. I see you, girl. Hey, listen, I see you having a good time.
You know Carol knows ball, Rico. She knows game. She knows ball. Listen, that's the problem, right? How many times have you had to say something and then say you had to follow it with, of course, factoring in health or, if healthy, you say it about Matt Milano, you say it about Terrell Bernard, you say it about Christian Benford, you say it about Taylor Rapp, you say it about now every corner you have. It's the problem, right? And people want to, they want to disregard that. They want to disregard the fact that you have a literal YMCA flag football defense against the Chiefs 2 years ago in the division. Oh, but no, Allen can't beat Mahomes. This is the problem, right? And once again, it's the problem right now. You felt good. You just put a first-round draft pick in Maxwell Harrison, the fastest guy in the entire NFL draft. You're feeling good about that. Nope, hurt, right? Tre'Davious White, looking better than he has in the last several seasons, right? Nope, all of a sudden he's hurt. And now, you get to a point where you're going to have to go with Dane Jackson. And you're saying, well, why not make a call? This is what I wonder. To the extent of these injuries, that's what I wonder. And that's where I question whether or not that's the reasoning behind not making a call right now. They talked about it on the broadcast tonight, right? In all likelihood, Maxwell Harrison to the IR. I don't mind that. You're not trotting him out week one anyways, even if he was ready. And I just think that the point Steve Tasker made was a great one. You're taking the pressure off the kid where he's going to be fighting tooth and nail to try to get back to be ready to play. It might not be good for him to do that. It might not be in his best interest because he could be still hurt, and you put him out there and you just immediately get off to a bad start in your career. Put him on the IR. The Trey White situation, this is where I'm interested. Brandon Beane was very ominous about how he talked about that on that pregame interview there. Lower leg injury with no timetable. Now, this is just you know what they say about assuming, right? But when I hear no specific injury with no specific timetable, I read that as not good, not great, right? But then again, Dane Jackson plays this entire game almost. Would you have him play the entire game if he were going to be set to start week one? Isn't that not even more risky? You saw the risk you took. He got banged up towards the end. If he goes down, Rico, like I texted you, get limber, start stretching because you're playing corner. So I don't know if you play him the whole game. So where I was concerned about Trey White maybe being worse than we were hoping based on what Beane said, maybe it's not. My issue, Rico, is not with the talent. It's with the injuries, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Making a call, Asante Samuel Jr. has been brought up how many times? Every single time I tweet something, someone's in my comment section mentioning it. I don't know why you call Gabe Davis and you don't call Asante Samuel and have him at least come in for a visit. I'm not entirely sure. I don't feel bad about the personnel. I feel very uneasy about the injuries, but you could also say that about any position. Right now, Milano and Bernard are healthy. We've seen the history there. We've seen the history throughout this entire defense. And once again, to put a bow on it, this is what this defense comes down to. When they are healthy, I think that they have a tremendous unit. And this year, better than ever with what they've added. But with Joey Bosa's history, I just mentioned the two linebackers, the corner and safety situation, it has been a problem. And it's unfortunately going to come down to whether or not it's a problem again for these Bills or not this year in terms of how good their defense is.
The more I was listening to say how many of the players that we have are hurt, and then when you mentioned Dane Jackson, and then I start thinking about Baltimore and how they are going to be just chomping at the bit. to beat the break off of the Bills. They want the Bills badly. And on Monday night, and they get to go on the road and try to handle business and really demoralize us. And we're going out and trotting out Dane Jackson. Listen, I feel about Dane Jackson how I felt about when Christian Benford went out and Kyrie Elam came in. We're done. Wave the flag. Just take it easy on us. Just don't do us too dirty. That's how I'm feeling right now. And I don't care that I'm probably throwing Dane under the bus. I just don't. You're not that dude, Dane. Like at one point we did trust you, and I know that this McDermott defense is a solid defense, and if you're where you're supposed to be, you can do good things. And he's done it for us before. But then I look at what's available, and maybe that's something that we should be potentially looking into. And why isn't Coach doing it? And like you said, maybe it's not as bad as we think. Maybe it's not as bad as we're assuming that it is, and that's why he's not looking at it. Is it a matter of because we're broke? Maybe, right? I'm sure that plays a factor into it. But when I'm looking at what's available, and let me see if I can kind of zoom that in. There's some decent players that are still out there. Charvarius Ward. Hold on, let me see if these guys. Did I get that right? Let me just make sure these guys are all available, guys.
You have signed select. You got to hit available.
No. I got to change that up. All right. So did I do that right? Where am I at? I'm going to UFAs. I'm not the free agents.
I think you're good. The available button, unless it's already highlighted.
That's what I should do. There you go. All right. So here we have it. So Bradbury's available. Fuller, Stephon Gilmore available. All right. Now he could be pricey, but that's a guy that you know that he can come in and do it. That's a former NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Can't call that brother in. I mean, I'm trying to avoid this, but Rasul Douglas is out there. Rasul Douglas is still out there.
See, that's the one where I don't quite understand why that hasn't been looked into yet.
I'm sure it's sitting on their desk right now and they're mulling it over. I'm sure that Rasul Douglas' agent is on the phone saying, "Hey, fam, I'm watching what's going on over there. He would love to come back to Buffalo and run it back with y'all. What are we doing?" I think they're just not sure as to what's going to take place. Because here's the deal. All these guys have to come back. You got your rookie, Maxwell Harrison, has to come back. Trey should eventually come back unless they say, "Yo, you're done for the season. Thank you for coming out." Then we got to go somewhere. But at the end of the day, dude, you bring him in, then that's a lot of guys on the roster that you got to deal with. Then you got who else is out there that's a name? Asante Samuel Jr. is still out there, waiting to be plucked and brought to the squad. All right, so there are some guys out there. There are some guys out there that we could definitely call on. But right now, I don't think is as bad as it may seem. So we're just gonna have to wait it out and see what takes place at the end of the day. So went to the wrong guy. So
he's got to be
at that point. We got to wait it out and see how bad these injuries are and when these guys are gonna be returning.
Yeah, I wonder if the mindset for Bean is I have to weigh the financial balance to the amount of time these guys are going to miss balance, and is it worth investing X amount of money in a guy for X amount of time if, as of right now, that projected amount of time isn't substantial? So that's where I'm wondering if it might not be as bad as we thought. Right?
Maybe not.
But then again, what is there to even think about Trey right now? There's no footage of it, and no one knows anything. So it could be nothing. It could be everything. I have no idea.
So then just say it. So we don't know when. And he's usually good at saying, right now we're day to day. Right now we're week to week. We don't.
This is why I thought it wasn't a good thing. But then again, how do you play Dane Jackson the whole game if it was that bad? You can't risk that.
We'll see. I mean, maybe they didn't have a choice. Maybe they didn't have a choice.
You might be right.
Dave,
I don't know.
We don't want to play you all game, but we got to. Sorry, bro. You and Shane Bouchel, get used to it. You're playing 70 snaps today. Let's go.
Either way, once again, I mean, this is why I've said this before. This is where I'm at. Yep. I mean, unless Mike Vrabel wins Coach of the Year, you're winning the East. Okay, so have this unit healthy on January, whatever, the second week of January. That's where I'm at. If Trey White's got to miss a month and Max Harrison's got to miss a month and they lose to the Ravens, but then go on to win their next 7 games because they're like a 6-point favorite in every single one of them, well, then so be it, right? If that's what it ends up having to end up happening. We've seen this team not get the 1 seed every single year. I'd love to see them get it this year, but we know that they're capable of going the distance without it. You got to be healthy in January. And that to me is what matters the most. So I know it sucks right now. And yeah, my dad, I was on the phone with him earlier. He brought the same thing up about the Ravens. And I was more interested in the fact that Derrick Henry ran for 200 on him in the regular season last year. You don't even consider the idea of them getting eviscerated in the pass game with what they're potentially trying out there. But this is where I'm trying to be level headed about it. Because even if it does go south in that game, it didn't last year. And they got it done when it mattered the most against that team. So.
No, you've nailed it. And you have to be somewhat optimistic and not jump to conclusions. And it's hard not to. When you're a fan and you're watching what's going on and you're worried about the game. Listen, we're less than 2 weeks away from, you know what I'm saying?
We're 2 weeks from tomorrow from no, it's actually Sunday Night Football.
I'm telling you, man, we aren't far away, and I can't wait for that to take place. So, I mean, listen, we got a dub, and not that it matters, but we got to see good things. And that was my biggest gripe this offseason was the fact that we never really got a chance to see the whole crew together and say, you know what? I know all this hoopla is happening in this offseason, but when the first team defense went out, they shut things down. We never really got that because it's been a mismatch bag of this player and that player, and the guy's not going to make the team, vice versa for the offensive side of the ball. Josh, for the first time in his career, has never played first time he's not played a preseason game. So we never got to see the offense go out and
does that
put up.
bother you, by the way?
It does bother me. Absolutely bothers me because I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs go out there with their quarterback and they're saying Pat Mahomes looks in mid-season form. What? I ain't trying to hear all that. Meanwhile, my quarterback hasn't taken a snap yet with his first team offense altogether. Yes, I am very troubled by that. However, although it's still preseason, I would have loved to see that. So now it got me in my feelings saying, hold on now. It's going to be very telling and revealing come week 1 when we finally put our roster together. We don't know what. Do you know what you're going to get on the offensive side of the ball?
Yes.
Do you have an idea of what you're going to see?
Yes.
You do? Because I don't. I'm imagining what I'm going to see. I'm like, I wonder what it's going to look
like.
I don't know.
Why do you feel that way?
Because we haven't really seen them all together. When it was Kincaid was bummed out for a play or two or had to miss a couple practices, and then Palmer was off for a bit, and then this guy was in, and that guy was out. There was always a shuffle, and James Cook was saying, you know what, I'm out. I ain't doing that. I ain't gonna talk to you no more. The three of y'all. Like he wasn't feeling it. So at one point, we never really got a full squad together. So now I'm going in there like, all right, what are we gonna see? Are we gonna be shaking off rust week 1? Or are we going to be a well-oiled machine? So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to. I'm hoping that we are. I hope that I'm overreacting and thinking what it is, because I'll tell you right now, week 1 comes in, and if the score is lopsided and we look rusty, chalk it up to what took place in all offseason, right? But if we come out there and we just look like a well-oiled machine, like nothing ever missed, then I'll say, you know what? F all that preseason the business, man. That's just what it is, man. We don't care. But part of me does still care. I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end, but I'm looking forward to seeing what this week 1. I can't wait. That's
oh my God. Oh my God. I mean,
I can't wait.
I've never ran a marathon. I never will in my life, but I have to imagine this is what it feels like when you see the finish line and you know you're about to cross it and you're done. And we are about to cross it. I mean, I watched actual college. I watched ranked college football today. Okay,
how did it go?
We are
back. I didn't watch any. How was it? Did it feel good to be watching football again?
Yeah, Farmageddon. It was great. It was the worst game ever. And Iowa State won by 3. There was like 7 fumbles in that game out in Dublin. But it's great. It's great. It's back. It's back, man.
Football's back. And listen, doesn't it feel like we were? Oh man, we're gonna go into this full off season, and blink of an eye, we're back at it again. Isn't that crazy?
Every time a year, every time we get to this point of year, I don't know how I went as long as I did to get to this point of year.
Nutty. Yeah. I feel like we just got the draft just took place and all this, and now we're back to it. Like, wow. All right, let's get right to it. So that's it for me. I didn't got nothing else. I mean, we went half hour over what I really wanted to, but I mean, how do I not?
This is the shortest show we've ever done, though. So you got to consider this a W. You have to.
It's a big dub. It's a big dub. Anything else want to get out there, big fella?
Nope, that's it. I know it doesn't mean much, but this was good for me going into the regular season. They looked like they showed up. They played well.
Absolutely.
There was stuff to be happy about if you're coach. And I think that this just brings a general sense of positivity that was squandered last week in a big way. So I thought this was certainly positive. But the big takeaway here is we are 2 weeks away from now, currently today. We are past midnight. We are 2 weeks away from today from Buffalo Bills football week 1. And that, folks, is all you need to help you power through until we get there, because we're close.
I will say this, though. That Bears game, what can I say the word I'm trying to say here? Insignificant as it was significant, because I think a lot of these guys were like, holy crap, we got our asses beat. The fans are chewing us out. Our coach was even saying, hey, man, we need to, he looked like he needed that as well as a coach.
He was pissed.
Absolutely. He was pissed. He was embarrassed. He was like, and now I've got to go and address this game that doesn't even matter, but it does matter, because now I'm the one responsible for all this, right? So I think it was great. I think that Bears game might come back late in the season when we're winning that championship and we talking all this stuff. They're like, you know what really turned this around, what really got this group going, that loss to the Bears in preseason. And we're going to bring it back to that. And I think that was great for them. And now they can come into week 1, hopefully charged up and focused, laser focused, and knowing that every team wants to rip your head off, especially the Baltimore Ravens. We have been a thorn in their side, and they want to pluck that thorn out. We got to jam that thing right back in there and be like, no, ain't going nowhere. We ain't going.
And by the way, that fan base hasn't shut up since Allen won the MVP 5 months ago. So that's as big of a game for us as it is for anybody. I mean, it's a huge game. Huge.
Absolutely. And you know what? And today I'm rocking my new glasses. How you feel about my new glasses? You feeling these?
I mean, I love them. Let me see the side.
She was like, they're too big for your face. I was like, that's the point. That's the oversized. You don't know anything. You ain't that.
You got like a nice wood grain finish on the side there. Am I seeing?
You see it? You see it?
Yeah,
listen, chat. How y'all feel about it? Are you feeling these? Are they too big for me? I mean,
I don't think they look any bigger than the ones you always wear.
I mean, there it is. There we are.
I'm in it. And you know what? Caroline gave you the seal, so tell Jenna that. Maybe she'll change her mind.
Will do. All right, folks. You guys have yourself a fantastic evening. Listen, we're at 1,200 people locked in on a preseason. Listen, we're getting to form ourselves for post game. We're trying to get into it. You know what I just realized? We ain't gonna be doing post game on that Thursday nighter.
I know, I'm bummed. I mean, we might need to figure something out.
I am actually really bummed. I was like, damn, really? We ain't gonna do a show? I mean,
we might need to go somewhere. I don't even know where we could go. It'll be midnight in Buffalo. We might have to go to like the truck stop. I don't know if it's possible.
Who knows?
I don't know. By the way, I saw some people asking crew neck Aeropostale, believe it or not, and it's $35. You're welcome. Go to the website and get it. It's like half off right now, and the quality is really good. I saw some people asking, so do that. But yeah, I'm bummed about that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because somebody was asking me about my sweater the other day, and I think it was Aeropostale that I got mine as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's a Canadian store, and they're like, what? We have it here too. I was like, oh, well, there you go. So we getting our gear at the same place, but they don't stock Bill's stuff as much as they probably stock in yours, because you seem to be finding the great deals left, right, center. So
well, you got to do the online, because down here, Rico, it's only Jets in person. I don't even bother going to the section. I just go online. I don't even.
Oh yeah, you're in Jets Nation, right?
I won't even walk over there. Yeah, no, forget it.
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm in Patriots Station, because I mean we're right next to Boston, so a lot of Patriots fans. You go to the thrift store and all you see is Patriots. I mean, they're getting rid of their stuff, which is a good thing. So nobody's really rocking with that. But I mean, I'm not in my own territory. But it is
all those fair weather fans during the Brady era have had enough, so they're dropping it off at the Goodwill. So that's probably why they have a surplus of it. So
you know what it is, man. All right, folks. Enjoy your rest of the night. Preseason is over and done with. We ain't got to talk about no preseason going forward. So this is where we're at. Week 1 is upon us. We are 2 weeks and a day before we start out. We got to start getting ourselves warmed up. I will be on vacation Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be back. I think I'm back on Friday.
You've been trying, man. Good summer for you. You and the fam are getting after it.
I'm trying to, man, because I felt like I haven't had a summer. So this is the back end of it. So we're going to good old PEI, Prince Edward Island. So we're going to be hanging out there. If you guys don't know where it is, go ahead and look on the map and go look where that is. That's where we're going to be. So you will not see me Tuesday, because the wife was like, you're not bringing your laptop. It's family time. I said I respect it. I respect it. We'll see it, and then we'll see you guys back. Maybe I'll try to squeeze a show in on Saturday or Sunday, whatever the case is. We'll try to make it fit, folks. Have yourself a great evening, Z-Bot. We will see you, I guess, whenever we meet up.
You'll see me when you see me.
Yeah, we'll see you when you see you. By the way, there's gonna be a giveaway coming up shortly.
Oh, a big one, by the way. Huge, massive. Be on the lookout.
Massive. So be on the lookout. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.